Welcome back to High Stakes. Elevate your game by subscribing to our channel so you never miss our daily content. For exclusive access to our premium betting picks, join our Patreon. Find the link in the comments section below. Stay ahead with High Stakes. New Orleans Saints vs. San Francisco 49ers. Dennis Allen returns for his third season in the Big Easy, and the head coach has yet to lead the organization to the postseason. He has compiled a 16-18 record, 7-10 in 2022, 9-8 in 2023, and the team finished second in the NFC South last year. Allen will return a very similar offensive core, including QB Derek Carr, RB Alvin Kamara, and WR's Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. Carr threw the ball just 6 times in the Saints' 16-14 victory over the Cardinals in their preseason opener. It was a slightly underwhelming performance, as he was 2 for 6 with just 12 yards. Instead, it was the backups, Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener, who led the way. Haener amassed 107 yards on a September 13th night, while Rattler, a rookie out of South Carolina, went 9/17 with 70 yards. Rattler added a rushing touchdown with 2 carries for 8 yards. Perhaps the most promising sign was that kicker Blake Group went 2 of 2 with his field goal attempts. The 25-year-old was just 30-37, 81.1% last season, missing several impactful kicks. Overall this season, the expectations aren't off the charts in New Orleans. This team is definitely flying under the radar, which I simply think is a reaction to their underachievements in 2023. The odds makers have their win total set at 7.5, -120, U +100. The Saints are priced at +350 to win the NFC South, and those are the third shortest odds behind the Falcons, -130, and Buccaneers, +350. From a personnel standpoint, New Orleans bolstered its defense, bringing in D.E. Chase Young, LB's Willie Gay and Khaleke Hudson, and SS Jonathan Abram and Hugo Amadi. They also added O.T. Olasamika Udoh and W.R. Stanley Morgan and Cedric Wilson Jr. on the offensive side of the ball. As for San Francisco, they're looking to build on a run to the Super Bowl last season, where they eventually lost to Kansas City in a 25-22 overtime thriller. At this point, the 49ers are basically fine-tuning their roster. However, the biggest story coming out of the Bay is the contract/trade situation with WR Brandon Ayuk. I'll link the full analysis to an ESPN story here. Even with the potential departure of Ayuk, the Niners are shaping up to be one of the most feared skilled groups in the game under head coach Kyle Shanahan, returning QB Brock Purdy, RB Christian McCaffrey, WR Deebo Samuel Sr., and TE George Kittle. None of those stars suited up for the preseason opener against the Titans. It was a losing effort in a 17-13 game, which saw Joshua Dobbs and Brandon Allen handle the workload under center. Dobbs went 14/20 with 146 yards and an interception, while Allen was 7/13 with 98 yards. Dobbs added a 6-yard rushing touchdown, and the other score came off a Jordan Mason rushing touchdown. Mason went for 34 yards on 6 totes. As you saw above, pass rusher Chase Young departed San Francisco. They'll replace him with veteran D.E. Leonard Floyd. LB Devondre Campbell and DT's Jordan Elliott and Malik Collins are set to bolster the front 7 as well. From a sports betting perspective, the 49ers are the clear favorite in the NFC, sitting at +250 to win the conference. They're also a -195 favorite to win the NFC West. This should be an intriguing Sunday night showdown on Sunday. However, I'm not expecting to see a ton of playing time for San Francisco starters. Mainly, RB Christian McCaffrey is still dealing with an ankle injury. Also, using the 2023 preseason as a predictor for this year, QB Brock Purdy didn't play in the opener, and that held this year, and he went just 4-5 in their second preseason game. I'm not expecting much out of Purdy this time around either. With that being said, I'm going to ride with the Saints -1.0 in this contest. Honestly, they're much less polished than the 49ers, so their starters could use the work. Derek Carr went just 2-6 for 12 yards last weekend, so I'd expect to see a bit more playing time for him. Head coach Dennis Allen is now 4-1 SU in his last 5 preseason games, logging an average margin of victory of plus 5.5 points. Allen needs to nurture a winning environment heading into the regular season, so I feel that they'll be taking this game much more seriously than San Francisco. Let's ride with the Saints as short favorites. This is a fairly elevated total for a preseason game. With that being said, I'm going to come back on the under at 38.5 points. Per VSIN, preseason meetings between conference opponents have gone under at a clip of 61-38, 61.6% since 2015. Also, per the same article, when a preseason total is set at 37.0 or higher, the under is 534-410, 56.6% since 2010. This is a spot that fits both of these trends, and I think it matches up with the style of play we'll see in this game. Both of these teams play to the under at this number in Week 1. New Orleans beat Arizona 16-14, while San Francisco lost 17-13 to Tennessee. We're going to see a lot of simple offensive concepts in this game, which should give an advantage to the defenses. Both of these organizations pride themselves on playing solid defense, and I think we'll see that on display on Sunday night. I'm playing the under. Green Bay Packers versus Denver Broncos, and Green Bay's preseason opener. The Packers did play some of their starters as quarterback Jordan Love went 2-2 for 63 yards and 1 touchdown before exiting the game. A.J. Dillon also had 4 carries while Josh Jacobs rushed the ball once. However, entering their second preseason game on the road, head coach Matt LaFleur said most of the starters on both sides of the ball would not be playing. Green Bay will play Sean Clifford and Michael Pratt at quarterback, while A.J. Dillon and Marshawn Lloyd are likely to see most of the time at running back. Bo Melton, Malik Heath, and Dontavian Wicks will be the top 3 receivers for Sunday's game. Green Bay has 1 player on its second-team offense and 2 players on its second-team defense who are listed as questionable. Denver, on the other hand, will be playing their starters and most importantly their quarterbacks. First-round pick Bo Nix will be getting his first start on Sunday as in Denver's first preseason game. He went 15-for-21 for 125 yards and 1 touchdown. Zach Wilson and Jarrett Stidham will also see action as the Broncos have yet to name their starting quarterback. On defense, the Broncos will also be playing their starters, at least for a quarter or 2. Denver's defense held Indianapolis to 223 passing yards and 64 rushing yards in the road win last weekend. With the starters not going, expect Green Bay to lean on Sean Clifford and Michael Pratt at quarterback as the Packers will be playing most of their second and third-team players in their second preseason game. This preseason game is a tale of 2 different teams as Green Bay is holding out most of their starters, while Denver is playing theirs at home. The Packers will get a long look at both Sean Clifford and Michael Pratt to see who will be the backup quarterback, but both should struggle against Sean Payton's defense, especially with Denver playing their starters. Meanwhile, the Broncos' offense should have success against the Packers' backups and third-stringers. Denver's quarterback should all have success and pick apart Green Bay's defense for a lopsided win. Take Denver minus 7 points. The over is also a good spot in this game, as Denver playing their starters against the Packers' second and third-string players should lead to plenty of points. Bo Nix and Zach Wilson will both have something to prove and will lead Denver to plenty of scoring drives. Meanwhile, the Broncos' defense did give up their fair share of points to Indianapolis last week, and if Green Bay can get to 17 points, the over is in a good spot, as Denver should be able to get to 24+. Denver's offense will have their foot on the gas the entire game, while Green Bay's backup offensive players will look to have something to prove. Take the over 39 points.